SPC tool, Cause and Effect Diagram, Chapter 3. The cause and effect diagram is another tool of the SPC series. The statistical process control is a methodology for monitoring a process to identify special causes of variation and signal the need to take corrective actions when necessary. So the cause and effect diagram is the second of the 7 tools of the SPC series. It was developed by Dr. Kaoru Ishikawa in 1943. And it is a visual tool, so it's a picture composed of lines and symbols designed to represent a meaningful relationship between an effect and its causes. You will have the effect located on the right side of the diagram. The effect represents either a good characteristics that we want to learn from and then try to copy that in other processes or products or services, or represents a bad characteristics that we're trying to eliminate. And then on your left, you're going to find all the root causes of that specific situation. Some of the advantages of using this tool is that helps to analyze the actual condition for the purpose of product or service quality improvement. Also helps with the elimination of the condition, which is the root cause causing the non-conformity product or service and customer complaints. It helps to standardize operations, and it helps in the training and education in the decision-making process. Also, this is a team effort tool, so this tool would enable the team to focus on the content of a problem and not on the history of the problem. Creates a snapshot of the collective knowledge and concepts of a team and will help to support the solution. And its use is to investigate either the bad effect and to take corrective actions, or to investigate the good effect and learn from those causes responsible. So this is how it looks like. And if you notice, it has the shape of a fish bond. So this tool is also known as the fish bond analysis. You have the effect on your right side, which is the quality characteristics that we mentioned that it could be good or bad, and then you have the causes on your left side, and as you notice, you have main branches, okay, or the bond structure. The one that you're seeing right now has 6 main branches. These branches can vary from 6 to 5, 4. It will be dependent on the type of industry, the type of situation as well, or the effect. Then you have what we call the primary causes and the secondary causes. So how do we build it? The first step is to identify the effect or quality problem, and this is what is located on your right side. Then you determine the major causes causing the problem. Then you determine the minor causes. For this is when we request a brainstorming session with a team. Then you complete the diagram, you evaluate the diagram to determine the most likely causes, and then you develop solutions. There are 3 main types of this diagram. The first one is the cost enumeration type, and here you will analyze the actual condition for the purpose of product or service. Then you're going to eliminate the condition causing the non-conformity. You will standardize system operations, and then you educate and train personnel. The way that we build this type of diagram is you determine the effect, and you determine the major causes, and you will determine the minor causes. But you can go back and forth between the major causes and the minor causes. The second type is a dispersion analysis type, and the difference between this type and the first type is that you need to work each major branch at a time. So you complete one branch and then you start working on the second branch So the objective is to analyze the causes of dispersion or variability, and this is how it must be done, okay? The third type is the process analysis type. For this, you must understand your process very well. Doesn't mean that you don't need to understand the process for the other one. You also need to understand the process, but the idea with this one is that the diagram will be based on the steps of that process. So you write each step of the production process, and the advantage of this one is that it is easy and more simple to work since it follows that production sequence. And this is how it looks like. You have the process in which the first step is load, the second is cut, and then bore, sink, chamfer, and unload. And then you work what are the major causes and the minor causes for that situation. I mentioned that the number of branches will depend on the type of industry, and these are the suggested categories for those. If you are in the service industry, you might use 4 major branches: policies, procedures, people, plan, technology. If you are in the manufacturing industry, you might use the 6 branches: machine, and this is what we call them M's. Machine, methods, material, measurement, mother nature, and main power. And if you are working on based on the process steps, and maybe this is an example, you determine the customer, advertise product, incent purchase, sell purchase, ship product, provide upgrade. So these are suggested categories for those major branches that are used to identify the causes of the effect, okay? This is an example. This is a problem with airline customer service, and is that the customers are dissatisfied with the airline. And because this is more like a service, it has 4 branches, and you don't have to use the same naming. The suggested categories mention the 4 P's, but they're using the M's. So you got material, machinery, method, main power. So once you determine what are the branches, you have to start working the minor causes: inadequate supply of magazines for material, inadequate special meals on board. For the machinery, mechanical delay on plane, broken luggage carousel. For main power, you have understaffed crew, understaffed ticket counters. For methods, you have overbooking policies, bumping policies, etc. This is just an example. Now, the way that you build it, you can use software for it. So you can use Visio. This is a Microsoft tool. You can use Minitab, which is the statistical package, or you can do it by hand. So let's work on one example. We have to create a cause and effect diagram for a long line at the supermarket. Okay, give you the categories. You should use policies, procedures, people, plan, technology. Okay, so let's do it using Minitab. So you open your Minitab, and the idea is that you will build each brand: policies, people, plan, technology, and procedure. So what you do is you start completing that. So let's say as a policy, let's say that we have lack of customer satisfaction policy. Let's also say that they have a lack of employee management policy. For people, they are lack of cashiers. They also they have a problem with training. Maybe they have a lack of seasonal employees. So maybe those long lines are because it is specific season where they know that customers go more often to the supermarket. For the plant and technology, let's say that this is the only supermarket in the area, or is the only supermarket with certain products, and that's why it is more easier than others. Then maybe they don't have enough cash registers. For procedure, we can say there is a lack of directing shoppers through line procedure. They don't have that. Lack of hiring seasonal employees procedure, and lack of a training procedure. That's why the employees are not trained to do that. So once you build your different branches with the identifying the minor causes and major causes, you go to Stat, Quality Tool, and select the cost and effect. Here will ask you what are the first the different causes. So you can say, well, the first one is located in the policy, and you can change the name of this if you don't want to use the label that they use. Then the second one, I have people. Then the third one, plant technology. And on the third one, I have procedures. So it says, what is the effect? The effect is long lines, or I can say supermarket, long lines. The title, I can name it cost effect diagram. I'm gonna check to label the branches. No, I'm gonna make sure that it's unchecked because I need this, and then I do not display empty branches. Then I click OK. And here is your diagram. Okay. You also can do it by hand, or you can use Visio. So once you open your Visio, it will ask you to select a template. And the cost and effect is under the business category. If you scroll down, you will see the cost and effect diagram. Double click, it will take you to it. So on the right, you have the main effect. So supermarket long lines. Then we have people. We have policies. You have to just double click. Then you have plant technology. Technology. There we go. And we have procedure. To add minor causes, you go to your left, you just click on it and drag it all the way, then you double click and you add the, let's say we said training. Another one is lack of personnel or lack of cashier. Bring another one, lack of seasonal employees. And that's the way that you build it. You can also use secondary causes. Let's say for training, what's the problem with people is that not enough trainers. So that could be a secondary cause. So that's the way that you build.